for this problem, we're going to look at how we just solve a basic force of gravity problem. So the equation that we use is force of gravity, or Fg, equals the gravitational constant times the mass of the first object, or m1, times the mass of the second object, divided by the distance between them squared. So when we look at the problem in there, it tells us that, well, we first know that the gravitational constant, this is just a number that always is the case, is 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11 newtons meters squared per kilograms squared. Then we're given that m1, our first mass, is 2 kilograms, and that m2 is also equal to 2 kilograms. And the distance between them is 5 meters. So we'd work on plugging them into our equation. So the force of gravity equals our gravitational constant, 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11 newtons meters squared kilograms squared, times m1, which is 2 kilograms, times m2, which is also 2 kilograms, divided by the distance between them, 5 meters squared. Now, the first thing we'd want to do is check our variables and eliminate them. Now, I will tell you, for the purpose of all of these problems, we know they eliminate. You don't really need to worry about them, so if the variables seem a little confusing, you can just kind of ignore them. But just to kind of go over, this m on the bottom is squared, so that would be m squared, so that cancels out with the m squared on top. These 2 kilograms multiplied together are kilograms squared. Since that would be on the top, this is on the bottom. Those cancel, and we'd be left with just the units of a newton. All right. Key thing is, we don't need to worry about the variables. So if we write that just without any variables at all, this is 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11 times 2 divided by 5 squared, and we know that in the end our unit is going to be newtons. So if we just solve through this kind of step by step, all right, I'm going to keep this number because that one's kind of confusing, so we're going to look at it at the end. 2 times 2 is, of course, 4. And then 5 squared is 25. Now, to solve this problem, I just multiply my numbers. I can take this thing, my 10 to the negative 11, my kind of notation there. I'm just going to kind of put it to the side and ignore it for now. So it'd be 6.67 times 4 divided by 25, which is 1.06. I add back on that 10 to the negative 1, or negative 11, and then I add back on our unit, which is newtons. So in this problem, the force of gravity is 1.06 times 10 to the negative 11 newtons.